Hello, Professor Hayes. My name is Lindy Gibson, and I read Hearing God, Developing a Conversational Relationship with Him by Dallas Willard. Pretty much the idea of, or the main summary of the book is developing the conversational relationship with God, but Willard gives us some moments where he gives us some insights, some points of how to identify God's voice, how to hear God's voice in your day-to-day life, from walking around outside to being in a time of worship, from being in prayer, from reading the scripture in your daily devotional time. And so I absolutely loved the book. When I was trying to figure out which book I was going to read for my book report, I kind of just prayed over the list, and this was the first one that caught my mind, or my eye, and so I absolutely am so excited, and I was so excited to read it, and so I absolutely loved reading it. I definitely think I'm going to purchase the book just to have on hand with me to read again. Some of the main key points that I enjoyed about the book, chapter 8 did happen to be my favorite chapter of all, because it talked about recognizing God's voice. We have to be able to recognize His voice. We have to be able to be His sheep that hear His voice. That's the kind of relationship we want with God. We don't want to not know who our shepherd is. We want to be able to respond when He calls to us and stuff. And so he kind of talks about the three lights as he defines it in the book. And he says the three lights are your circumstances, which are your environment, the impressions of the Spirit, and passages from the Bible. And so kind of what I felt like out of those three that I really needed to work on was definitely my circumstances, my environment. I feel like I've had moments where when I was reading the scripture, I have been able to go, wow, God, that scripture really spoke to me. I feel like you gave me that scripture to talk to me about something and stuff. But it's one of those things that I feel like that's kind of the only time I've heard from Him really, except for maybe impressions, Him speaking to me through other people, or maybe Him speaking through me to talk to someone else, and then afterwards me being in awe of how that came out of nowhere, but that was just God speaking through me. And so I feel like my circumstance is kind of one, because I want to be able to hear God when I'm walking from class to class. I want to be able to hear God when I'm cooking or just doing my homework. I want to be able to hear His voice, and whenever He wants to speak to me. I don't want it to just be the personal time that I spend in devotionals and stuff. And so it's creating that environment and creating my spirit to where I'm able to hear Him whenever He wants to talk to me. And so I feel like that was one of my the one points I feel like I can really take and use and start developing into my day-to-day life. He also talks about how to recognize His voice with the three main factors, and it's talking about quality, His spirit, and His content. And I absolutely love this because it actually kind of reminded me of some moments when God has spoken through me to speak to other people when I've had a conversation. And kind of afterwards, I was like, I'm sorry, I have no idea where that came from, because there was so much knowledge and wisdom in it. And the three factors, kind of breaking them down, when he broke them down, the quality, how, how it came out. It was just, you could tell that it had so much authority in it, so much wisdom, and you knew it wasn't you speaking, because you feel like you have never reached that point that you had that much authority and stuff. And then it talks about His spirit, to where it wasn't evil spirit. You didn't feel like anything was false from it. You didn't feel like it was the devil speaking through you, but it was pure godly spirit that was speaking through you. It was of peace. It was of comfort. It was of joy. And then also the other one, content. The content that came through it. And that's where I've really identified, because there's been moments that I feel like I didn't even know some of the stuff that I spoke, and to where the content that I just had spoken was obviously not from me, but it was from God. And so it's in moments like that that I'm able to recognize his voice, because I feel like I didn't exactly comprehend that that was God speaking through me, to where it touched me and it touched the person I was speaking with. So it's one of those things that now I'm able to recognize that and know, oh my gosh, God, that was you speaking to me through that person. Thank you. I needed to hear that. And so I just thought that that was absolutely amazing and so insightful on how to recognize his spirit, to create that environment for his spirit to speak to you. And so I absolutely love the book. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who is wanting to grow their relationship with God, because I feel like everyone can get a whole new perspective and a different idea that maybe they need to grow in. And so I definitely recommend it to anyone. And I definitely am going to be buying this book to keep on hand so that I can read it over and over again, because it was so insightful to me. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a blessed day.